I don't call myself a chef, so I call it my no recipe, no measuring technique. So many people said to me, oh my gosh, that was the exact reason why I didn't enjoy cooking.
The wok.
The cast iron wok really means opening up the pores with high heat to accept the oil. But you don't pour the oil in. A wok is everything and the only thing you need to cook good food. I prefer good food than authentic. And I'm going to get killed for this, but I don't care.
I was in Miami for the very first time when a friend in San Francisco texted me and said, "You have got to talk to this person." Eleanor has worn a lot of hats. Computers in England, retail store in Key West, cooking classes in kitchen showrooms across Miami. But everything she's done has led her to one thing: teaching the world how to use the wok the right way. Today, we dive deep. Cast iron versus carbon steel. Why most people season their wok wrong, and a conversation about food, culture, and identity that I think a lot of you will feel in your chest. So let's dig in.
Welcome back to another episode of The Hungry Immigrant with me, Abang Brian. And Abang Brian this time is in Miami. It's my first time here. It's warm. It feels like it's Malaysia. And actually, as usual, when I travel, I always try to look people up who are have been shaping our food culture. And actually, this next guest that we have is a recommendation from someone who was in San Francisco. And Tracy, just texted me on Instagram and said, "Hey, you're going to Miami," because I was asking on Instagram, who should I talk to? And she said, "You need to talk to this person who has been in the industry for so long and has not only shaped our food culture, but also have shaped her career as a chef." I think she's also a little bit of a celebrity chef, I think. She does some shows, you know?
You know what? I don't call myself a chef. I'm actually known as the Wok Star. So I started off with, actually I've worn many hats, but all the hats that I have worn have actually brought me to what I'm doing currently, which is consulting for a very small, new Northern Sichuan Chinese restaurant in South Beach. So my background was actually in computers for 17 years in England.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where the accent comes from.
No, it isn't. It isn't actually. No, I got it in Hong Kong because, you know, it was a British colony.
Of course.
And my parents sent all of us, the family of 5, to an English school. So all our classes were in English. I mean, by English teachers. Yes. So by the time I went to England to boarding school, I already had my accent.
So you did consulting for this group. You started off with computers, and then what happened?
I actually opened a retail store in Key West with my sister, who's a very talented artist. So she used to hand paint clothing and ceramics, and I did the whole store, managed the store and everything. And then Hurricane Andrew came, and I'm showing my age by mentioning it. It really scared us because, if it had hit Key West, we would have been... So we moved up to Miami. That's how we came to be in Miami.
And food came about because?
I had actually started giving cooking classes in Key West after my sister left for Santa Monica. And all my friends used to say to me, "You're such a good cook. Why don't you teach us how to cook?" That's actually how it started, with the cooking classes in Key West. And then when I came up to Miami, I started giving the cooking classes in very upscale kitchen design showrooms because I didn't want to do it in my home. And I was thinking, where could I do this? And there were beautiful kitchen design showrooms that hosted my cooking classes. And that's how I started getting into that. But I discovered that when I started giving wok cooking classes, people had no idea what is a good wok.
Right.
And I don't know whether you use a wok in your cooking.
Oh, we use it all the time. Yeah, it's part of one of the cuisines that we have.
Okay.
Growing up Malaysian, we are a blend of cultures, and yes, woks are recommended for certain types of cuisine. To me, in my honest opinion, there's certain things that you should use a wok and nothing else. But like this is about you, and we're going to talk about the wok a lot today because we are with the Wok Star. But bring us back to your childhood. Like, how did those? Well, people say that you're a very good cook, right? And they ask you to teach them, how to cook. But what are the dishes that you grew up with that probably inspired this, right?
Well, the funny thing is that, and I really regret not paying attention when my mother used to cook Malaysian food, because in my youth, I was actually not interested in cooking so much, even though all of us in the family, and I had 3 sisters, we all used to help my mom make Malaysian dishes because it's so much work. So my responsibility was always using the mortar and pestle to pound all the rempah and all that. So my mother's cooking was so unique because, in the old days, she couldn't find a lot of the ingredients in Hong Kong. So she had to substitute and, think of other ways of making those flavors. Right. And it was through my mother that I learned to cook with a wok. And the most important thing about that wok was it was cast iron. But, when you say cast iron, people always associate it with a big, heavy, wok. But it wasn't. It was only like 3 pounds. I could hold it in my hand. And, for my mother, cooking was beyond exact measurements. She always used to say, it's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And that's how I grew up cooking. Right. And all of us, the sisters and I, are all really good cooks. And that's the technique I wanted to teach people, that you don't need to follow recipes exactly, because that is what I absolutely dislike, because it never works for me, because everybody has different flavor profiles. Some people like it more salty, some people like it less salty, whatever it is. And that's what I try to teach people in my cooking classes. So I call it my no recipe, no measuring technique. And so many people said to me, oh my gosh, that was the exact reason why I didn't enjoy cooking. Right. So I'm really happy and glad that what my mom taught me, I've actually introduced to a lot of people in Miami and actually worldwide, because I now have an online cooking class so people can learn from anywhere in the world.
So that's amazing, but like I do believe in that as well. A pinch of that, a pinch of this, which as well. And I think what you have done is you've taken away the fear of exact cooking. Right?
Exactly.
Now people are like, God, I'm going to do exactly that. Like, is it true? Like, but it also comes with a little bit of cooking intuition, I feel, because like, if you see a recipe that asks for, say, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, right? Maybe, you could do 1.5, or you could do 2.5, or you could do 3 if you really want it salty, right? But to start with that 2, right, as a gauge, is not something that everyone will be born with, right? So, don't you think that there needs to be some sort of guideline, or how do you guide people on that?
Okay, so in my cooking class, they can see I actually use these squeeze bottles, and also these dispensers that are specifically for those ingredients and seasonings. So I call it my squirt, squeeze, shake. Yeah.
Squirt, squeeze, shake.
And people absolutely love it because, they can see I've squirted 3 rounds of tamari. I don't use soy sauce. I use the Japanese tamari, just because it has no MSG, and I love that brand. It's Sanjay, you know. It's
I use this.
oh great,
It's cold brew.
yeah. So
We are not sponsored by that company, by the way. We're just telling you.
they did sponsor me for years.
Oh, okay.
Yes, including providing the Sanjay when I sell my kit, so it's included in it. Because, see, okay, I'm moving into my kit now because it was so important for people to have the right heat, the right wok, and the right technique. And that's why I put the kit together, because people would see me cooking in my wok during the class, and they run off to IKEA or wherever they are and buy a cheap wok. And it's the wrong material. And they go, why does everything stick and yours doesn't? And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right. This is something that we're going to talk about in the later segments, where we will focus 100% on the wok, and we will talk more about the kit, where we can get it from the Wok Star. But before that, I think when we talk about food, I also like to bring my food everywhere I go. So we have this little segment in our show called the Sambal Survey, where I travel the world with sometimes 3, sometimes 2, whatever I have at hand. And I get people to taste the sambals and tell me what they think about it. So this is the Sambal Survey. For the Wok Star, we just invite people to taste the sambal, tell us what they're tasting and what will they have with that sambal, what does it remind them of, and then just choose one that you like the most.
Wow. So I'm going to have this, excuse me, on its own?
Yeah,
It's going to be pretty spicy.
Just taste a little bit. Oh, yeah, okay. Just a little bit. That one especially. With water.
Is it made by anybody we know?
Maybe it's me.
I just want to check before I say anything.
Just say it.
That's good.
As brutal as you can be. Really, Eleanor.
Okay.
It's just the fun part of the show.
Well, this one is like full of chilies. I'm just going to lick it.
Although I don't think that is spicy.
It is, because it's got
The seeds.
chili seeds.
You think this is spicy than this one?
No.
Okay.
This one, I'm not quite sure, but it's missing something. I love using ready-made sauces now, and I noticed the sambal lady.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Have you interviewed her?
Of course.
Yeah.
She was in an earlier episode in season 2, I think. Yeah.
I love her sauce.
Yeah.
But I only tried the satay powder.
Okay. She's come up with a lot of new stuff. Including, if I'm not mistaken, she just launched late last year a dry laksa. So yeah, and she gave us some of her sambal there, the sambal lady.
I like it because her powder is, when you open it, you can smell it immediately, all the seasonings that I grew up eating, because I was the one pounding them. So it brought back very good memories. But I would use them in different ways. See, my mom, she would use this probably to fry with, Chinese New Year, you have the lo bak go.
Oh, yes.
She would make it Malaysian.
Yeah, which is fried radish cake. Right?
Yeah, she would fry it with chilies until it's crispy on the outside, which we love.
Yes.
And then this one I would use with, maybe doing noodles or a stew. That's how I would use the two different ones.
Which one is your favorite?
I have to say that one, because it's very fresh.
Interesting. So we have, I think, would you say, so originally you're from Hong Kong?
No, but I was born in China.
Oh, you were born in China?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you moved to Hong Kong. And you're half Malaysia because your mom is Malaysian. Your father is Chinese.
Correct.
And she's Hakka.
Yeah.
Cool, okay. So like I think you're the first person who lived in Hong Kong. No, Sarah Jane Ho was the first, I think. And she's from there. But yeah, so we have a Indonesian chef before you.
Right.
And she said the same one as well, because she likes the freshness of it. And this one is actually more like Indonesian style sabao.
Oh.
Okay, cool. So that brings us to talking more about your wok kit, right? And we're going to talk all about a wok because I think there's an understatement of what a wok is. And so tell us about, I see there's a kit because you said, you wanted to teach people how to use a wok and people don't actually have a good wok. So what is a wok? What is a good wok? Tell us.
Okay. The reason why I put the kit together was when I initially started giving cooking classes in Key West, it's the last island of America and it's a long way to go to get anything. And so, of course, woks were not available down in Key West. So everybody had to drive up to Miami. And I didn't realize that there were so many different woks. And I was positive that my particular cast iron wok would be available in Miami. Oh no, completely wrong. They would come back with the wok, and then the people who worked in the Chinese markets told them to season it incorrectly. And of course, everything stuck. Because seasoning is the most important process of setting up your wok so that it would last a lifetime.
Okay, for someone who does not know what is a wok, let's start with the wok first, and then let's talk about the seasoning. Okay, so what is a wok?
True. Okay, so it's a round shape with a round bottom. I personally think that's the only shape you can use.
Okay.
That is the traditional
Wok.
wok. The flat bottom woks, I always call it, it's a flat pan with high sides, which is made specifically for electric stoves. And as we all know, electric stoves are useless for wok cooking because the minute you throw food in there, the heat fizzles out. And that's why, so it isn't just the wok being important. As I mentioned before, it's three things. You have to have the right wok, the right heat is most important too, and then the right technique. And if you don't have all those three things, you're not going to be successful. And that is exactly the reason why I put the kit together.
Right. And so a wok is the curved shape. In terms of the material, must it be aluminium? Must it be
Oh gosh, no,
iron? Must it
definitely
be
not
anodized
Yeah, no.
carbon steel?
Cast iron.
Cast iron.
But lightweight cast iron.
Okay.
And it has been extremely difficult to source this wok.
Right.
I lost my supplier halfway through my, doing my project. And I had to source it from China because China really is the only place that makes this particular lightweight cast iron wok. But this last one was even better because they seasoned it for us
Right.
before they shipped it. So
But what is so important about the material that it's made from?
the cast iron, it is, because of that material, nothing sticks, but you can use it at really high heat. And it's the best material for cooking anything. Anything you can cook in a flat bottom pan, you can cook in a wok.
Right.
And the cast iron is because it's lightweight, it can break.
Oh.
And that is why a lot of Chinese restaurants use carbon steel, because you can bang it around.
Yep.
But the cast iron is, it can be fragile.
Oh.
However, if you ask any grandmother, she will tell you that they all use cast iron skillets in the old days.
Yep. But this is a version of a wok.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Very lightweight.
so this is halfway through then. So I was gifted a wok that was cast iron, and in my mind, I grew up with carbon steel. I grew up with the thinner ones, which is like aluminum, whatever. But I was like given this cast iron one, and I was like, and this was gifted to me in America, and I was like, you can't cook with cast iron. It's not going to work. And it didn't, because it was not the thin one, not the lightweight one. It was like they took basically, you know, like the flat skillet, the flat iron, cast iron skillet, and they made it into a wok. And I was like, this is besides the point of a wok. I can't even hold it, like, you know.
Yeah, it's too
and
heavy.
true enough, I seasoned it, but it's still stuck. And then, well, long story short, there is cast iron, but like the lightweight version. And then we're talking about seasoning now. What is seasoning a pan?
Seasoning
The wok.
the cast iron wok really means opening up the pores with high heat to accept the oil. But you don't pour the oil in. See, I see a lot of what I call wok gurus, but they're telling people to season it incorrectly,
Right.
in my opinion.
And what is the right way? Wok Star.
You don't throw in a ton of oil. You just put very little on the paper towel and wipe it. See, people, when you throw in a ton of oil, it glops up because the heat will. Because do you remember I mentioned that seasoning is about opening the pores to accept the oil. But if you throw in a ton of oil, then it glops up and it becomes one crusted, horrible mess.
It's like your face. If your pores are going to be clogged, basically.
Exactly.
Right.
The same idea.
Okay, and like once you purchase your first wok, you season it. Okay, you only have to season it once.
Yeah.
A light-
once. Except, really, every time you use it, you're seasoning it.
That's true. Do you? Okay, so cast iron, right? You don't wash it. Do you wash it? Do you soap it?
I
Do you...
wash it. Definitely try not to soak it. Like, definitely not overnight, because cast iron, it can rust.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And soap and brushing and all, is that okay or?
Very light little wash up.
Okay.
If I'm doing a curry in it, then I will use a little bit of. Don't be scared, because you cannot ruin cast iron. And some people, when they see it started rusting, they throw it out. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I actually did a YouTube segment
Right.
where I show people how to restore their wok.
How do you do that?
It's easy,
Okay.
but people should just go to my YouTube.
Okay, so
It's
she's not
just
giving
free.
it away. Check out Wok Star's YouTube. I like how she's marketing right now and baiting y'all. Go watch that video. We'll put the link in the video and also in the description for you to check out how to save a rusted cast iron wok.
But what they need to do after they've cleaned it out,
Yep.
after they've finished eating, is to wipe, again, put it on the paper towel, wipe a little bit of oil on it after it's been dried.
So you know what I remember growing up in Malaysia, in the kampong or the village. I remember this auntie who would always say not just oil, but she likes to use coconut oil. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why, but maybe coconut oil is very like viscous, so I don't know, because it's different from oil, normal oil, right? Coconut
Yeah.
oil is a little bit like
Yeah.
thicker, more viscous, and it creates like a very protective
Sheen.
lace sheen on it.
Yes.
And that's what she swears by, and she's always saying like, I know you all say oil, but no, it's coconut oil. And I didn't know why until like now when I started, because I didn't grow up cooking, right? But I always remember her talking about this. And I remember the smell, because like if you grew up in a Chinese household, you don't use coconut oil a lot, right? But I remember the smell because she said she used it to cover the wok, and this was a Malay auntie and also an Indian auntie who said that to me before, and I was like, huh. But I don't remember that, but I remember the smell, and now I know why. That makes a lot of sense. In terms of utensils that you use, anything goes.
No. And it really makes me laugh when people use a wooden spatula to cook with. Uh-oh.
No, I don't use woks because I don't have fire at home. But yeah, why not wood?
Because the wooden is very thick edge, So you're really just pushing things around because you cannot go under the food and flip it.
Right.
That is why a spatula is perfect. And I had to source my spatula.
When you say spatula, you're talking about the metal one?
Yes.
Okay.
Metal.
Okay.
Only
The Tai Chow type, right?
Stainless steel.
Stainless steel, sorry, yeah.
Not any old spatula.
Yeah.
And I had to source mine from Thailand because
Oh, yes.
China
Oh.
has huge spatulas because they're only interested in servicing chefs that work in restaurants. And because they use these huge, like 40-inch woks
Yeah.
with 40,000 BTU,
What is 40,000 BTU?
it's a British way of measuring the heat.
Oh, okay.
So
Like very, very high
Very,
heat.
very
Okay, got
high.
you. Okay.
those flames are like ridiculous. The minute you put it on, boom, it's already cooked.
In terms of ingredients that you use, everything goes for the wok? Anything acidic should we avoid or like? is
No.
that- Everything goes.
As I said, the cast iron wok is a workhorse. You can put
Klaus.
anything in it. Yeah.
So as long as you buy the right one,
Correct.
you season it and you care for it, it'll be fine.
And that's why I put that kit together.
Right.
Because I also included some basic ingredients so that people will start off right with, as I mentioned, the sanjay, tamari, and
Let's talk more about sanjay or tamari versus soy sauce in just a while. But this segment in the show is called Hungry Questions, okay, where it's a quick fire questions, this or that kind of thing. Just say whatever comes to your mind, okay? So this is Hungry Questions with the Wok Star. Chopsticks or hands?
chopsticks,
Rice or noodles?
noodles,
Wok or cast iron?
cast iron,
Fry, stir fry or stew?
stir fry.
Midnight snack, favorite dish?
What's my
Favorite midnight snack?
midnight snack? Oh, I don't do that. But
That's an answer. Okay, so let's talk about soy sauce. Okay, so like in the market, when you go, I think a lot of people are confused with the array of stuff that they get. I'm talking about people who are first timers walking into an Asian mart, first timers walking into any supermarket nowadays in the soy sauce section. Right, you have an array of soy sauce. You have tamari. You have cold brew. You have, you name it. Right,
yeah.
a cacophony of something that is black in color usually, and it's called all soy sauce. So what help us out here?
Okay, the reason why I switched to the Sanjay Tamari is non-GMO, it doesn't have MSG, and it uses a process that this is the 8th generation fermenting master.
Okay.
They've been doing it for all those years and they've really perfected it. And I love how the minute you add the tamari to anything, it just tastes so good that
But they're both the same thing, right? It boils down to soybeans,
Yeah.
right? Salt, and then you ferment it, and then it gets that color from all the fermentation. Sometimes, like you said, you're right. So I would always suggest people to read the ingredients, right?
yes, definitely you do not want to have those processed chemicals in it because that's not good for you.
Are you against MSG?
I am the processed ones because MSG originally really is just concentrated soybeans.
Right.
But in modern times, to try and make it easier for manufacturers, they've added in chemicals that are not that great. And so when I go to restaurants that use the bad MSG, and I don't care if people think that it's in my head, I don't care. So I try to avoid those restaurants that use MSG because I can feel it instantly.
Well, actually, to be fair, MSG does naturally exist in a lot of types of food that gives you that umami flavor, right? And then you extract it from tapioca, for example, right? and then you make
And
it
the
into a powder.
sanjay.
Yeah.
It actually is a natural, it's in there,
Yep.
but they don't add the processed chemicals.
Right.
It's a natural fermentation.
Because that comes out of like it's a shortcut, right, to get flavor, basically, right?
Right, it's a flavor enhancer. That's what they call it, MSG.
What is the flavor enhancer naturally that you swear by?
The tamari.
The tamari.
Yeah.
Other than tamari.
I literally use it in nearly everything.
Oh, really?
And I was very surprised. Recently, I found out the Jamaicans use it in their jerk. Yes, they use it in their jerk seasoning.
So I am learning this also because I am also teaching in a school where we also have online classes and we service the greater audience of America and even like the Caribbeans. And I have students who come from different islands, and when they describe certain foods to me, and I'm like, that sounds a little bit Asian to me. I mean, I'm not trying to be racist, but I'm not just saying like we're kind of the same. Like you're like cooking with what? It sounds very familiar, and like certain cultures have rotis as well.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, you mean roti? Like we pronounce it, they call it roti. I'm like, roti? Like flat, like like flatbread, like with. And they're like, yeah, we have that too. And they even fluff it up. I'm like, wait, we have that too.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of cross culture happening, and how would you? I mean, you have grown up in Hong Kong with parents that come from China and Malaysia, and you've been in the US how long now? Like your whole life?
Oh, I don't want to say that because then you'll
Okay,
know
don't
my
tell me
age.
like a big part of your life, right?
Yes.
And now you teach people from all walks of life, from all different backgrounds, right? What is your view on the way our food as Asian people is going? What's the direction? How is it evolving? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I was listening to one of your podcasts about a chef who was saying that it's sad that a lot of the authentic traditional dishes, and I do agree with that. However, my whole mantra about cooking is I don't care so much about authenticity. Because we've all had to substitute and make things differently. If you don't have it at home,
Right.
what are you going to do? Not make it? So I prefer a dish to be good. I prefer good food than authentic. And I'm going to get killed for this, but
Cancelled!
I don't care.
Yeah. So what is good food to you?
If it tastes good to you, that's
Yeah.
all that matters.
It doesn't matter whether it's good to someone else. Most importantly, it's for you.
Exactly.
I got you. And before we leave, what is one message that you want to send out to anyone who's listening? What would the Wok Star say?
Very good question. As I mentioned, you don't need exact measurements or recipes to make good food. But the more you cook, the more natural it becomes. Because I remember you saying sometimes with intuition, it's not necessary. Because as I said, the more you cook, the more you become familiar with the ingredients and the way you like things. Because it's all about what you like, not about what the person who developed that recipe likes. It's all about what you like.
But does that mean that there's no space for people who write cookbooks or recipe developers?
Not at all. In fact, I tell people,
Yeah.
you know what, go ahead and use, look at recipes
Yeah.
as a guideline,
Yeah.
which was what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
Use it as a guideline,
Guideline,
but
yeah.
you don't feel like you have to
Pressure.
do exact
Yeah.
measurements.
Gotcha.
Play with it and get it to how you like it.
Okay, before we close up, there is a tradition that we have on the show where we will ask a question. So basically, it's called the Hungry Journal, where I travel with a book in my hand, and it's filled with questions from previous guests to the next guest, and not knowing who's the guest. And so I tried to do something different because I knew the Wok Star is coming. I put out this question to the people who listen to our podcast, and I said, what would your question be to the Wok Star? And this one comes from a listener. Let me just double check here.
That was cute.
So this is the front part where we have questions for the next guest, and the back is for all the guests who've been on the show. They'll write down one recipe that they believe should be in a cookbook called The Hungry Immigrant. So the question comes from someone listening based in where I am from. The person is from Rockville, Maryland, and the person asks, at the end of the day, a wok is ... Complete that sentence.
A wok is everything and the only thing you need to cook good food.
Straight from the Wok Star. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me, Eleanor, also known as the Wok Star. To get her kit, we will put the links in the video and also in the caption. If you want to find out more about Eleanor, the Wok Star, please check out her Instagram, which is also Wok Star. Just Google Wok Star. There's only one Wok Star. Has always been one Wok Star only. And you can get her kit and her classes. You can have it online as well. And yeah, so thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And as usual, I remind everyone, before we close out, to always keep their plates adventurous and their hearts open. My name is Abang Brian, and this is The Hungry Immigrant.